Let's jump right into this explainer, because what we're looking at today is a real game changer. We are talking about the infinite game. And honestly, the infinite game doesn't start on a battlefield. The infinite game begins in a quiet room. The Infinite Game, written by Simon Sinek, is absolutely crucial right now because it exposes a trap that literally every single one of us falls into. Simon Sinek points out this exhausting, endless habit we have of constantly trying to prove our value to complete strangers. We've basically outsourced our internal scoreboard to the outside world. So today, we're going to tear that down and figure out how to take it back.
Now, this is a massive reality slap for all you high performers out there. Listen to this. You do not fear failing, you fear being seen while unfinished. Think about that for a second. The crucial point here is that we are using these tiny, finite scoreboards to measure infinite, complex human work. We mistake the applause of a room for the actual architecture of the self. We're sprinting toward a finish line drawn by somebody else, and then we're completely shocked when we feel so hollow crossing it.
So what does this all actually mean? Well, an infinite game is a game played purely for continuation. You're not asking who won this quarter or who got the trophy. You are constantly asking what keeps this cause alive. The core premise in this book is that the game isn't about crushing your rivals. No way. It's about using the tension those rivals create to renew your just cause. It shifts your entire worldview from a frantic short-term sprint into a lifelong purposeful marathon.
Let's look at a direct comparison. A finite game gives you known players, fixed rules, and a clean ending. It hands you this false, comforting sense of neatness, like a nicely wrapped present. But an infinite game, that gives you a cause, worthy rivals, and absolutely zero clean finish. It doesn't just ask you to get a passing grade and go home. It demands that you stay worthy. And honestly, that fundamentally changes how you spend your energy every single day.
Section 1. The Wound of Outsourced Judgment.
Think about this on a deeper level. The hidden judge in your life, it doesn't even need a face. It uses your calendar to dictate your worth. It edits your sentences before they even leave your mouth, just because you're terrified of how they'll be perceived. It turns a standard Tuesday meeting into a terrifying tribunal. When we outsource our judgment, we literally give away our peace. You trained the crowd to own your pulse. And you know what? That entirely removes our private alibi. You can't blame the crowd for judging you when you willingly handed them the keys to your nervous system. You gave them the gavel. We have to take that power back.
And that leads us to a visceral, almost uncomfortable reality. You built a court, and you called it conscience. Let that truth settle in your own mind for a moment. You rehearsed your defense, and you called it preparation. But that court is still a cage, and the bars are made entirely from imagined faces.
Section 2. Descent into the Infinite Game. Your cause has to outlive your mood. Your standard has to outlive the crowd. And your identity absolutely must outlive the score. This brings us into a much deeper practice of true alignment, rather than just operating out of a constant, exhausting panic to please the judges. See, there are two entirely different mindsets here. Performance seeks a verdict, while refinement seeks a vessel. In this infinite space, a worthy rival isn't an enemy to be destroyed. They're a lantern with teeth. They expose your weak spots. They show you the exact work you've been avoiding. When you play the infinite game, you turn the sting of envy into a clinical skill audit. You use your rivals to refine yourself.
I want you to picture the number one as an anchor in your mind right now. Imagine a single red pin holding a frayed old map to a wooden workbench. That one red pin represents your single just cause. It's the one thing that stabilizes your identity when the room changes its weather. Not your market, not your desperate need to be admired, but the one true place you actually choose to serve.
But here's the catch, and it's a big one. The map cannot walk for you. A cause provides a load path. It keeps you aligned under immense pressure so you don't just bend toward the latest trend or panic. But orientation still requires disciplined movement. It demands the discipline of stepping away from your need for a crowd and actually taking those hard steps yourself in the dark without any applause.
Section 3. A Private Existential Strategy Audit.
Think of this as a quiet, unhurried look at your own internal operating system. This audit demands what Sinek calls existential flexibility. That means having the strength to change your form, pivot your strategy, and try new methods without ever betraying the original vow of your just cause. You adapt before your pride hardens. Let's walk through the 5 key practices here. First, do you have a just cause that serves as your true north? Second, are you utilizing worthy rivals to expose your growth edges, or are you letting them make you bitter? Third, do you possess existential flexibility to adapt? Fourth, are you tracking your will and resources, knowing that money without will becomes sterile? And finally, courageous leadership. Are you choosing the cause over the easy verdict? Think of a moment when you sacrificed the cause for a quick win. Place this lens into that memory. Ask yourself right now, what game are you truly playing, and what fear is silently signing off on your choices?
This idea brilliantly strips away all those cheap wins we chase. Applause is not direction. It is just sound in a room. The crucial takeaway here is to reframe applause entirely. It's merely weather. It might warm you up for a moment, and sure, it feels fantastic. But fundamentally, it cannot steer you. It is not your compass, and it absolutely does not define your true north.
Section 4. The map that outlives applause.
So, we return to that map with a single red pin. This map doesn't promise a clean arrival or some grand victorious finish line. What it gives you is orientation. And in the infinite game, that is just enough orientation to make your very next, honest, refined move. As the book states, you become less corruptible inside it. When you play this game, a refined self can move and remain completely loyal to the cause. You keep your will clean. And yeah, you might be misunderstood. You might be called slow or unambitious by those who are still hopelessly addicted to daily performance metrics and quit verdicts. Let them misunderstand the seed while you build for the long term.
This brings us to the final, permanent reality of the scoreboard under your skin. Infinite wins stay unfinished. You do not beat the infinite game. You simply stay in it, remaining worthy of playing. Deep dive the philosophy at upgowise.com. So ask yourself today, whose scoreboard are you letting dictate your worth?